Alright, what is up, guys? Today we're back doing another daily bias. Market just opened, but my bias right now is bullish, but I guess we'll do like the whole chart markouts. It's basically the same bias as yesterday, just because we didn't take out those highs I wanted to see us take out yesterday, which were these highs here. Yesterday we made a move higher, didn't take them out, and as you can see, since yesterday we didn't end up taking out those highs, which was my bias, but we kept moving higher. So there's not really much to have more than a bullish bias at the moment. We do have some key lows right here and right here, but like these lows were all already swept. These lows were all already swept. Market just made a move higher from open. This is market opens candle. It's been 5 minutes since market open. My bias is a little bit late today because, as you guys can see, I'm using a different webcam. My webcam's above me now, but as you guys can see, I'm using a different webcam because my other webcam was trash. Yeah, market open is not gonna give us anything anyways. We already know that. But so yeah, just bullish, higher highs, higher lows. We failed to take out these highs, I think, on both pairs. We haven't taken out those highs that I wanted to be the draw. Yeah, on both pairs we haven't. That's these highs here. Yeah, we haven't taken out the highs that I'd like to see be the draw on liquidity for the day. Now, if one pair takes it and the other pair doesn't, that's when I'd have more of a bullish bias. I mean, we could switch our bias to bearish, is what I'm saying. This bearish fair value gap just got inversed though prior to market open. So that's really like the only. There's no real confluences in this trend. I mean, I guess yeah. There's an SMT here to support price. So yeah, we're bullish. Yeah, there's an SMT there from these lows here that happened last night. We came out and took those before market open only on one pair. So I guess that's it. Are those kilos though? Like, what are these? Are these? Because these aren't too. Oh, that's a decent swing low. Yeah, that's a decent swing low. And that's under the 50% of this price range. But I need to see more before taking a trade. Right now, things are kind of pretty choppy. We have this respected bullish fair value gap on both pairs. Very respected bullish fair value gap on the 15-minute. These highs right here are the shorter term draw. These highs right here, shorter term draw on liquidity. Just trying to avoid. I don't even want to be on the smaller time frames right now, just because like I know there's nothing there at all. There's really nothing to take a trade off of. Inversing this 5-minute on ES. I just marked out. We just inversed that. So, but nothing really to take a trade off at the moment. But yeah, the bias is bullish. So towards these highs, we're what, 50 points from the short term high, then 60, 65 from the long term. So about a 15 point difference. 15-point difference. Those are my draws on liquidity. And then, of course, later on in this week, I'd like to see us be even more bullish. Now, for news on the day, we have really no news today. No news on a Tuesday, and basically no news on a Monday. So we'd like to see later this week we'll have some things pick up, some volatility Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But at the moment, that's what we're looking like. So we'll be back if I take a trade. There'd have to be more things that occur in the market for me to take a trade because there's really no at the moment like hourly fair value gaps that I'd like to see. I mean, like, yeah, like there's really nothing for us to react off of. Um, so there'd still be more that I'd like to see before I take a trade. But we'll be back. I'll mark up my chart, see if there's anything that forms, and we'll be back if I take a setup. But yeah, I gotta start talking up more because this camera is above me and not like right on my MacBook screen. But yeah, so we'll be back if I take a setup, and if not, then nothing will get posted. So have a good day, and we'll see you guys later. Alright, what's up, you guys? I'm gonna go over my trade from this morning and other setups that I did or didn't take. So, to clear off all the noise very quick, like, as you guys know, these are my draws in liquidity, these stacked highs. Now, that didn't end up happening. We didn't get an entry there. Now, I was still bullish on the day, so I did take a bullish setup. But I just wanted to say that at the moment, it's only 10:30, but at the moment, we didn't get a setup there. Also, oh, sorry. Also, there were plenty of bearish setups that formed though during this time period that I didn't partake in just because it wasn't in my bias. I think at the moment I'm just really trying to stick to my bias. So that's why I didn't take any bearish setups like this one that's playing out. I had it marked out, but I just already took my one win on the day. There's no reason for me to go against my position. So I guess we'll just go over my one win on the day, and then we'll go over my one win on the day and then how it happened. So originally, going into market open, I was bullish. But because there was nothing on the 4 hour, nothing on the 15, nothing on the 4 hour, nothing on the 1 hour, we had this 15-minute fair value gap here. Market opens. First off, let's go over market opens. So market opens, we start manipulating down, which is what I'd like to see on a bullish day. We chop around and manipulate down. We're accumulating, and then we get a manipulation move lower, taking out these equal lows. And we also left equal highs right here, like exactly equal highs with an SMT here in pre-market. All right, equal highs with an SMT at the equal highs right here. Oh, no, that's right here. So right here to right here, we had a large, you might not be able to see it, right here to right here. SMT divergence, equal highs. So we get a bearish move from that SMT, sending us lower, taking out these. These were equal lows, like these lows right here. These relative equal lows right here. Taking out these equal lows and then tapping into a 15-minute fair value gap. After what, like 20, 30 minutes top, like 30 minutes of top, we get a nice delivery from that. I don't enter. I'm waiting for us to close above 10 a.m. opening price so that we can get an open low and then a high close, similar to the trade that I didn't take yesterday. So I was waiting for us to get above 10 a.m. open price. Once we closed above 10 a.m. open price, there were no fair value gaps, as you guys can see. There were no fair value gaps to inverse except this 30 seconds. So inversing that 30 second, that was my entry because there wasn't no 2 minutes, no 3 minutes. There's really nothing for us to inverse. So I took my trade, stops below right here because on the 1 minute time frame, we formed this 1 minute IFEG. If we were to be bullish, I wanted to see us hold it. So I took a 1 to 2 trade. 1 to 2 RR trade to these highs, to the equal highs that left the SMT. And then that was basically it for that trade. Once we closed above 10 a.m. opening price, I took my longs. Now I ended up full closing my position because we made another SMT at these highs here. As you guys can see on ES, we took these highs and then that delivered a price move lower. Now me knowing that SMTs are 50-50, like there's been times where I've closed at SMTs and nothing's happened. Hey, you know what I'm saying? There's been time where I've closed at SMTs, nothing happens. It is what it is, right? And there's also been times where I don't close at the SMT like today. If I didn't close at the SMT, break even went from positive $500 to freaking nothing. So close at your SMTs, especially if you're not super duper confident. Like we just came off of 30 minutes of chop with no real higher time frame for value gaps. It wasn't any 5 minutes, 3 minutes, like 2 minutes. There's nothing for price to react off of. So why would I not fully close when ES takes these highs? If that's my draw for this trade, a 1 to 2 trade. So that's what I did. I completely closed when ES took this high right here, and then what happens? We come back to my break even. Now, if we didn't, I would have been thinking, oh, I should have left the runner. But no, this just builds more conviction in my strategy. Close at the SMTs. You don't need to leave a runner. If ES takes the high, then it is what it is. Now, as for my draw and liquidity being these highs here, I guess we probably won't get that price delivery, and that's okay. Now, another trade that I could have taken, I'm going to remove my bullish things now. The trade that I could have taken for the day, if I was bearish on the day, a trade that I could have taken was a trade down to these lows inside of this hourly, this bullish hourly fair value gap, a trade down to these lows, because that's what's happening right now, is that we're getting that trade and that delivery down from these lows. So that was the larger move from open. That's what the larger move from open would have been. And I was seeing that we could have showed bearish price action, so I had it marked out here. That was you guys can see it on the 5-minute chart where it says there was a 15-minute fair value gap resting right here, right? 15-minute fair value gap here. And I said to myself, if we inverse, respecting this 15-minute, this is a respected 15-minute gap. So every time we tap into it, we get a move higher. If we disrespect this gap, then we could start looking for shorts, or this could just be manipulation. So at the time period of me writing this was back at like 950, where this gap was still being respected and we hadn't closed below it. Like this gap was still being respected on a 15-minute time frame. I was like, okay, if we run through this, I can start looking for shorts. Now, unfortunately, the trade that you could have taken if you were bearish on the day is SMT at these highs that we just marked out. As we just said, ES took the high, NQ didn't. We had an SMT at the highs. Then we had a 3-minute and even I think a 2-minute. Okay, no 2-minute. Let me see, 2-minute chart. No, not a tap into a 3-minute. But on a 3-minute chart, we had a nice fair value gap here where you could have taken your bearish entry off that candle closure. You could have taken your bearish entry off that candle closure. Stops like about there, risking a 20-point stop, and then you could have had a 1 to 1.2 R back into this 15-minute fair value gap, or as you guys saw, I had draws all the way down here for like a 1 to 4 R. You could have had draws all the way down here. Now that would have been if you would have been bearish on the day. Now because I wasn't bearish on the day, I'm watching this bearish setup form and I'm not participating, because why would I participate if I'm bullish on the day? So I took my winning trade, although I had maybe the not most correct bias. I took a winning trade. I waited. I was patient for my strategy to form itself. I do believe that these lows will be taken. Now, will I look for anything else today? No, I've already taken my win for the day. I'm getting my ass off of the charts. But I just want to show you guys that there was a bullish setup to take. How could I have been a part of this bullish move? It would have only been after, once we fully closed below this 15-minute gap, and once we got this full 15-minute closure, I just wouldn't have been able to get an entry, because I would have had to get a fair value gap that was filled inside of here. That's the only way I would have been able to participate with my model. Was like, maybe if this bearish fair value gap got tapped into, and then we got a delivery from it, stops above the short-term high, like right here inside of that fair value gap, that would have been your 1-to-1. Full TP would have been 1 to 3.3. That would have been the only trade that I would have been comfortable taking today. But of course, that's not what happened. So that's the only way I would have been properly bearish. I mean, everything was perfect for someone who was bearish. SMT, fair value gap on a 3-minute, inverse of this, all this bullish price action. Yeah, so those lows just got taken now. So that would have been my bearish draw. I already had these lows marked out since before. if we were to be bearish on the day, I'd already marked those lows out, especially because um it was the lows and equilibrium of this range. Now I still believe later in this week we could be bullish, but these lows were at equilibrium, like the closest lows to equilibrium of this range, and inside of this bullish gap, which meant that they were a key drawn liquidity for someone that was bearish on the day. Now because we were so close to these highs, maybe I was being stubborn. That's why I was still looking for a bullish setup, but it's okay. I didn't participate in this move. I got my winning day. It's just something to note that if we're choppy like this in the morning, once that second SMT forms, because this was the first SMT, this is the second SMT. Once that second SMT forms, if we start delivering from that, then maybe we could have a bullish day. But it's always in hindsight. It's always in hindsight. You could have just continued chopping today. There's no news, so that's something to expect. It's like today there's no news at all, so it is what it is. This was a nice bearish trade if you had the conviction to be bearish today. Now I didn't, so I didn't participate. But you know what I'm saying? Nice setup, SMT at these highs. You get your change in the state of delivery. Below these candles, market structure shifts. There's just no fair value gap. That's the thing. You would have had to enter off of either this fair value gap here on the 3-minute, and if you would have entered off that, you would have got a nice closure because you would have inversed this bullish gap. So you would have had a decent entry, to be fair. A very, very decent entry. Very, very decent entry if you would have held. If you would have been confident. But alright, well, I'm going to maybe do a little bit more journaling of this, but that's my trade for the day. I won't return and show you guys the rest of price action for the day. I think at the moment, like, I'm pretty much done. So thank you. Honestly, I don't know why I'm saying thank you for tuning in, knowing damn well that I'm going to be the only person that watches this shit. Maybe in a couple years, maybe in 5 months. But getting closer to building my buffer. Getting closer to building my buffer on my accounts. This account's at 1,300 because there's one account that's lower. So it's $727 away from the buffer. $727 away from the buffer. All these other accounts are only $426 away from the buffer. So building slowly, taking the proper setups. Yeah, we'll just be patient. Just being patient. Just gotta tap into that 5-minute. But yeah, I'll definitely come back later and journal this. But as for today, I'm gonna post this and get my ass off of the charts. Get started with some other things in my day. Peace out, future me.